So welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hosting for the holidays, sponsored by Petit Jean Meats. Hi, welcome to Cooking Today. I'm so glad that you're here, especially now that it's the holiday season. We are celebrating the season with a special Friday series every Friday leading up until Christmas called Hosting for the Holidays, sponsored by Petit Jean Meats. And today is a fun one. We're making my favorite holiday appetizers, including a beautiful cheese board. We're going to talk about how to build a cheese board. It's the rage, it's the thing, and for good reason, because it's easy. It sits out at room temperature. It can also even kind of double as a light meal when we've kind of gotten all nice and full, from our other meals. It is just something that's really, really great to have in your arsenal. And you can keep most of the products in your fridge and pantry and pull even just a little munchy one out at any given time when you have company stop by or if you need to run it, to a little dinner party or something. Some great holiday appetizers today. So let me tell you, we've got a lot happening today. I have 4 pieces of peppered Petit Jean Meats bacon, and they're big long strips, and I cut down the center to make 2 long skinny pieces, and then I chopped it. So what we're doing is basically creating our own homemade little bacon bits. So I have those cooking over about medium-low heat. It's cooking on about medium-low heat just because we don't want them to get too crisp. We want them to really kind of slowly cook. And I'll even tell you this is a little just holiday tip at the moment. You need to be making bacon for whatever reason you can, because you need to be saving your bacon renderings, because bacon fat is the best flavor for really good cooking. Great flavor, a great smokiness that you can put in all kinds of things at the holidays. So we're going to save that little bit of fat that comes off of there and add it to our little reserve to really give some good flavor to our holiday cooking. And I also am going to get some halved pecans going, because we want to make our own sugared pecans for our cheese board. So all I'm going to do, I've got about a cup of halved pecans, and I have about medium heat. And what you have to do on these pecans, I've got a lot going on. I'm stirring bacon and watching pecans. What you have to really watch on your pecans is that they don't burn. You really want to just kind of cook and stir them over medium heat until you can just start to hear it, smell them get a little bit warm and nutty. And so I'm going to let them sit just for a minute while my skillet gets warm, and we're going to stir them. And then I have this little concoction. The recipe will be on our Facebook and our website. But it's a little bit of brown sugar, water, vanilla, and just a pinch of salt. You could even do a little tiny pinch of cayenne in here. That would be really good, just the littlest bit of heat. I have that mixed like a little tiny slurry right here. And then as soon as I start to smell these pecans get a little bit nutty, we're going to pour that on and then just lay them out on a sheet pan and let them cool. And then they'll be really good on our cheese board. A little bit of nutty, a little bit salty, a little bit sweet. It's a really good little grab and go. What have I done? Y'all, I've got so many things. I told you I've got so many things going. Okay, stirring these and smelling for them. We just want to get a little toast on them. All right. So people ask me a lot, what are your favorite appetizers? Well, I will tell you what my favorite appetizers are, and I'm making them today. One is a block of cream cheese with any good, sweet, smoky, spicy sauce poured on it, because everyone loves it. Everybody. I mean, you will see this one. That'll be the one that people will flock to. It's delicious. And it is easy. It doesn't require any effort whatsoever. Look at that. Isn't that easy? I am choosing today to use this Robert Rothschild raspberry chipotle finishing sauce. It's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit smoky, it's a little bit hot over that cream cheese, and eat that with a real savory thin cracker, you can't beat it. So there's number one. How about that? Isn't that so easy? You can stock your refrigerator with cream cheese, and all these sauces that I'm using today are at Unimaze. They have great flavor. And so you can keep this, and look, I just used barely half of a bottle, so I'm gonna get 2 appetizers or 2 dinner parties or 2 surprise company visits out of my 1 bottle. Okay, appetizer number 1. I've got my bacon going, giving these a little stir, and I think we're good on our pecans. So all I'm gonna do, watch this, pull these off the heat, pour in my little glaze, stir, 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 stir until they're really well coated. And you can kind of watch that sugary glaze cook a little bit. And then we're just gonna let them cool on a sheet of parchment, coated and easy. Okay, when we come back, we're gonna keep on. We're making some great appetizers. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, hosting for the holidays, sponsored by Petit Jean Meats.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. I'm showing you today all of my very favorite appetizers for your holiday season. Let me tell you, first and foremost, the easiest one in the world to keep stocked in your refrigerator is cream cheese with a really great sauce poured on it. I've done my one right here with our raspberry chipotle grilling, like a finishing sauce poured on top. It's sweet, it's smoky, it's a little bit spicy. It is so good with salty, salty crackers. That one is a piece of cake. Your people are gonna love that. So I've got that one done. And then my other favorite, one of my favorites, are it's any kind of crostini, any kind in the world. Crostini just means little toast, and that's what we've done. You know the big, long loaves of French bread, like the baguettes that are long and skinny, like this. I cut them on the bias. Just kind of cut them at the angle to get us lots of good surface space. Put them on my sheet pan, drizzled them with a good dose of olive oil, salt, and pepper. Put them in a 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes. That's it. And then I just let them sit at room temperature. So they're cooled and they're crispy and they're salty, delicious. So I'll tell you why I like to make these crostini. Because I am always kind of the school of thought that I don't want to spend tons and tons and tons of time on an appetizer. I certainly do not want to use up my oven space. I don't want to cook something that is hot, that uses my stovetop too much or my oven too much. And I also, you know how you get invited to go to a party and you make some really great hot dip, which I am all for hot dips. I really love them. I have several, as a matter of fact. But if you're asked to go to a party and you take a hot dip, or you have a hot dip sitting out at your house, after a while it's not hot anymore, and maybe if it's got cheese or something in it that has gotten cooled to room temperature, it turns rubbery and it just doesn't quite have the magic that it used to have, you know, when it came like piping hot and yummy and smoky and delicious out of your oven. So I like to do crostini, and here's why. You can make these little toasts in advance. Don't we love that for the holiday season? Make them in advance. Then put them in a Ziploc after they have completely cooled off. And then you are ready to go. Either to do what I'm doing here, which we're spreading them with plain goat cheese to make a little appetizer, or you can have a couple of them just ready to go for dips, or on your cheese board like we're about to do as an extra little bite of something delicious. They're really easy, and they sit at room temperature beautifully, unlike the hot dips and all those things, you know, like, I don't know, cold stuffed mushrooms are not very good, and cold other things are not very good. So this is why I choose crostini. Now that I've talked you into crostini, I kind of feel like the 1-2 punch for crostini is basically Smear them with a little bit of cheese of some kind. I almost always go to goat. I absolutely love goat cheese. I love that it's got that little bit of like a tang in it that's so good. It's creamy and it's easy to spread. So I like to do a little spreading of goat cheese and then something on top. A little bruschetta, any kind of another little spicy or sweet or smoky preserve or topping of some kind on top. Set it out, leave it on the counter for 3 hours, and it's perfectly fine as your company comes and goes. So let me show you. I won't finish all of them. But what I do is spread them with my goat cheese. Then I have these delicious preserves. The Unimaze pantry is loaded with some of the most flavorful, delicious, yummy preserves and sauces and things for the holiday season. So I have a smoky fig and roasted garlic preserve that I just put right in the middle of each of these crostini that are smeared with a little bit of goat cheese. Isn't that super easy, y'all? And like I said, this just sits. It's just put it on a little board or a platter, and it's ready for whoever, whenever. Isn't that so nice? I actually served these back when it was Halloween. I had these. We served the kids that came to our door, our trick-or-treaters. We gave them candy, of course. But if there were adults that we knew that came to the door, like neighbors or friends of ours from church, I had crostini. I did. I had these. And it was such a treat, and everybody got a kick out of it, and they were awful good. Okay, so I'm just doing a little dose of this fig and onion preserve. Then, remember I did our little smoky bacon, our peppered bacon from Petit G Meats. I made our own little bacon bits. I'm putting little bacon pieces right on top of every one of them, and then we're just gonna do a few thyme leaves, like fresh, pretty green thyme leaves right on the top. And you have a really great little appetizer. Aren't these simple? I cannot wait for you to come back and for you to see this cheese board. We're gonna show you how to build a cheese board for the holidays. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're making my favorite holiday appetizers. Easy ones from a block of cream cheese with a really delicious gourmet sauce poured on top of it, just for eating with crackers. You can get those great sauces at my store, of course, because they're delish, and you know, I know how to pick them. Good food, y'all. And we've made some really easy crostini with a little goat cheese and a fig and garlic spread, a little bit of Petit Jean crumbled peppered bacon, and thyme. They are the best bite. And so now I want to show you just how to build a cheese board. A cheese board is one of my very favorite things to put out for an appetizer, for even a light meal, for company, for hosting, for taking to a party. You just put it out, load it down with all kinds of good nibbles and bites and variety. It's beautiful and people will love it. I love it because people crowd around it. And I love that. I love a little place where people can kind of like a grazing station. Don't you love that? Good stuff. The key to a good cheese board begins with the cheese. Cheese is a little bit of a splurge, but it's really, really good. And it goes a long way. This is almost like I said, in place of a meal. You can also, you don't have to put every single bit of this out, and they're not going to eat it every single time, so you can do a little bit or halves of some of these rounds and wedges if you like. We're going to go ahead and build a beautiful big board for you. So, what a cheese board consists of, generally speaking, and let me just say, I am not a connoisseur by any stretch. I do love some cheese. I just know some of the basics. You can go to a good grocery store who has like a good cheese expert and ask them for some help. And that's what I did. So you want to start with soft and go different kinds of milks like sheep and goat and cow's milk and have a variety, some like nutty hard cheeses. Like we have, this is just, oh, let's do this one. This is an Iberico. You could also use Manchego if you wanted. And on hard cheeses like this, you can just cut the rind off and then cut them into these really fun thin wedges and then kind of, you know, fan them out on your board. And then I also have a Gouda. I think you can always have any kind of a Gouda. I have a classic black Gouda. It's not smoky. It's just a real classic one. So look, here's my nutty one that I'm gonna fan out. And then we'll go ahead. I've got my brie wheel. Let's put it out. And what I like to do on this is go ahead and start a wedge or two of it just to kind of help people kind of get to know how to get going on it. This is actually a triple cream brie. Isn't that so fun? And then look, we'll just pull a little piece out. How's that? And what's so fun about this is you just kind of build and pile and fill all the holes, and I just love it. Okay, then this is our black Gouda, and I've just kind of got it where people could kind of pull the middle out if they wanted. We'll just turn it. It's like a puzzle, and it's so fun. Here is our Chevre. Now, Chevre is like an herbed goat cheese, and a goat cheese is goat's milk. It's really creamy and spreadable. So I'm going to put it right here. Isn't this so fun? Just to build, build, build. And then, in addition to all of these cheeses that we're putting on, you also want to have like a stinky cheese, like a roquefort or a blue, and I've got this blue right here. I'm going to wedge it right there. Here's a Port Salut. I'm going to stick it over here as well. Isn't it all getting pretty? In addition to your cheeses, you want to have a couple of really good meats. Like you could do like prosciutto, like ribbons of good prosciutto. I've got some good like Genoa salami. I also have some Petit meats, just a good quality smoked summer sausage. And to go with summer sausage, I have a really good sharp cheddar. Classic, not fancy like all of these, because you know there are going to be people, they're like, I don't know what any of this is. They will always go for good smoked sausage and cubes of really good sharp cheese. Look at that. So you start by placing your cheeses, okay? And it kind of helps to get them going on, you know, cutting your wedges. You also could like break up your, you know, go ahead and start to crumble your blue. Then you just fill in. You fill in with your meats. You fill in with grapes, dried fruit, our nuts that we made. It is going to be gorgeous. It's fun. I cannot wait for you to see it when you come back. This is Cooking Today.
Iced tea, sponsored by Lipton.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. We are just wrapping up my 3 favorite appetizers. They are very little cooking. It's just a little bit of work to kind of get them assembled. Everything is easy, 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 easy. Doesn't require a lot of stove time, oven time, and can sit out at room temperature for quite a while so that your guests can nibble and munch and eat. Easy. Starting with my cream cheese with a good gourmet sauce. And then we made these delicious little crostinis of goat and a fig preserve and bacon from Petit Jean, and then a little bit of thyme. And finally, look at this showstopper. You start with your cheese. Place your cheeses, varieties of milks, varieties of textures and flavors, nuttiness, creaminess, and then just start packing it in. Good Genoa salami, some good Petit Jean summer sausage, everything from fancy cheese, stinky cheese, mild cheddar, whatever. We've added in some sliced pear, some dried apricots, 2 different kinds of seedless grapes. What else do we have in here? Oh, look, we did our little pecans. Remember we made our yummy little pecans, sugared pecans. We have wafer crackers down here. We have some good sesame crackers. You could even do a jar of like yummy rosemary or Asiago like breadsticks of some kind, stuffed olives. Just pile it on, stick your spreaders in your soft cheese, and you are all set to host the holidays. I hope you will try this at home and love every bite. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company. Kitchenware is provided by Una Mays. Iced tea, sponsored by Lipton. Candy, sponsored by Mars. Hosting for the holidays, sponsored by Petit Jean Meats.